What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for another BFR. Game 64 versus the Utah Mammoth, a 7:30 game on March 9th. Of course, this game was all about Troy Murray. Troy Murray, longtime Blackhawk, Stanley Cup champion with the Colorado Avalanche, Blackhawks radio broadcast analyst for as long as I've been alive, I'm pretty sure. And he fought very hard, and he ultimately lost his battle with cancer. So it was a very emotional day at the United Center. Troy Murray, one of these guys that was always around the Chicago organization, Blackhawk through and through. Selke Trophy winner, I believe it was 85-86 when he had 99 points that season. Just a really emotional night. There was a tribute video beforehand. Just really sad. That I believe he passed away Saturday morning it was. Yeah, because the Hawks played Friday at home, and they went to Dallas for Sunday. But yeah, so it was just this game was all for Troy. And the Hawks put it all out there. Although it didn't look like they were at first, they ended up pulling through. They win the game 3-2 in overtime. They go to 24, 29, and 11. Shots were 26-25 Chicago. Hits were 24-20 Utah. Faceoffs 27-24 Utah. Chicago goes 1 for 4 on the power play. Utah goes 0 for 2. Comesso gets the start as Knight is out with illness. 23-25. Vanacek saves 23-26. Of course, this was off a back-to-back. Soderblom had lost in Dallas, so Comesso got the start. And Comesso's looked pretty good. You wonder if the Hawks might move off Soderblom this season, after this season, and go with Comesso as the backup for next season. It's a very big possibility at this point. Of course, there's the Troy ceremony before the game. Should also mention I'm in a suit and tie because I'm about to head to the Wolves and Iowa Wild game. I'll be working that game, of course. So that's why I'm dressed in this attire for the last 2, now 3 videos. 14-22 of the first. It's a Utah penalty to Barrett Hayden for holding, which is killed. And then he comes out of the box and scores at 10-17 as my dog decides to drop his toy very loudly. Barrett Hayden gets his 9th of the season from DeSimone and Cole to make it 1-0. But at 6:14, the newest member of the Blackhawks responds. It's a redirect from Andrew Mangiapane, his 8th of the season from Donato and Mikheyev to make it 1-1. Great for Mangiapane. We'll see if he can get his goal-scoring ability back with the Hawks. He had a 35-goal season in Calgary a couple years ago. He had a decent year in Washington, ends up going to Edmonton, which when you're playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, you think if you're going to score anywhere, it'd be there. It did not work out for him there, and hopefully it can work out for him with the Hawks. 3:34, it's a Utah goal then to Dylan Guenther, his 30th of the year from Keller and Schmaltz to make it 2-1. Of course, as of today, Schmaltz was signed an 8x8, 8 years by $8 million, $64 million deal to stay in Utah until he's about 38 years old, I believe it is. I believe Schmaltz is 30. Of course, he was a former Blackhawk, drafted by the Hawks, played with them for a bit before being shipped off to Arizona. But, so yeah, good for Schmaltz for securing the bag, and good to see him getting an assist on here. Always will root for former Blackhawks. Second period, 18:44. It's a Utah penalty to Cooley for holding. That's killed because it's 17:57. Bedard takes a hooking penalty, so it's 4-on-4. When that penalty is up, it's a killed off. 15:36. It's a Utah penalty to Dursey for cross-checking. That's killed. 4:25. It's a mini lacrosse goal for the very much so needing one, Andrei Burakovsky. 11th of the season from Bedard and Green to make it 2-2, and he looked toward the heavens on that goal. He was just, thank God that puck finally went in the net. It wasn't a full lacrosse goal because he didn't put it all the way around the post, but he was already in front of the net and just took it, and just a little whack into the net. So very nice goal for Andrei Burakovsky. We go to the third, where at this point it was very feisty and very fighty. Just a lot of physicality, a lot of bad blood between two teams. You wouldn't expect to have bad blood against each other. Of course, Uyghur was also in the lineup for Utah. That was their big acquisition at the deadline. So he was making his presence known. He seemed to always be causing trouble there. Very feisty and very fighty, and that was clear in the third period. In the third period, at 18:58, it's a Chicago penalty to Green for holding. That's killed. Very slow third then, and then we go to overtime, where at 3:04, it's a Utah penalty to Schmaltz for tripping. He tripped Burakovsky up. Hawks get on the power play. Who else but at 2:24, the same player that wears the numbers 1 and 9 as Troy Murray did, he just wears them in 91. Power play goal to Frank Nazar, his 9th of the season from Teravainen and Bedard. 3-2 victory for the Hawks on Troy Murray Remembrance Night. And beautiful way to end it. Just beautiful way to end it, especially for Frank Nazar to be the one to do it, sharing the same numbers, although not the same number. It'd be great if Taze did it on, but because he wore 19. But Nazar, no one's ever going to wear number 19 again, so the next best thing you can get is 91. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. and I shall see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.